Democratic Rep. Katie Porter of California has done the never-ending yeoman's work of explaining how our country's economic system is fraught with inequality, calendar, and a ferocious lack of accountability. Because of her most well-known practices during congressional committee hearings is using a white board and simple math to explain how absurd big business assertions and evasions are when used with the problems of consumer protections and exploitation. She frequently does this directly to the face of big business leadership, for all the world to use it on Tuesday. Representative Porter questioned Mike Conchal, director of macroeconomic analysis at the Roosevelt Institute, about the current inflation hitting the United States, depth, South Korea, Israel, and the UK. Headlines from right-wing and traditional media outlets have steadily highlighted the 40-year high of inflation being seen in our country's gas and food prices. I have pointed out that corporate profits have shot through the roof at the exact same time, and to get a degree that saying our current inflation isn't manufactured by big business greed is laughable. That is exactly what Porter and her whiteboard aim to show Americans. Related story. Katie Porter reminds pharma CEO how much of his $13 mil salary came from tripling cancer drug price. In the first time, Porter holds up a chart showing that the largest drivers of inflation during the pandemic were the record profits being squeezed out of Americans by corporations. While we all tightened our belts, this 1% kept on taking an H. Asked directly about the inconsistencies of the rising costs of goods and services, Conchal explained that the main driver was corporate profit, growing at a staggering 54% clip during the pandemic. But that is not all. That number continues now, at that very same rate. Once you get used to skimming off the top, you don't want to stop. But as some real lame media outlets will remind everyone, lots of economists say that corporate profits always increase during inflationary times, which should be a red flag about how our economy works in the first place. Porter does the serious work of asking if this is historically in line with how corporate profits have increased during other periods of inflation. Conchal replied, as it is reflected there, and in other analysis, this is significantly higher in this recovery. Porter goes on to show people how greedy this all is. Corporations' costs for doing business, as well as for paying labor. That's you and me. They are smaller than they have been in decades. Bigger corporate profits account for over half of the higher prices people are paying. pic.twitter.com/rzr500x4oj. Representative Katie Porter at Rep. Katie Porter. October 18, 2022. Porter then pulls out a graph that shows how since Ronald Reagan sold the American working class out in order to keep himself in hair pomade, markups on goods and services have steadily increased over the store. However, there's a Top Gun jump in the markups starting in 2020. Markup. Noun. What a corporation charges consumers on top of production costs to generate profit. Pros. The biggest recorded year for markups was 2021. pic.twitter.com/lcmorkt. Representative Katie Porter at Rep. Katie Porter. October 19, 2022. Rep. Porter. Doing God's work here. On Daily Kosith Brief, we speak with polling giant Drew Linzer, who runs polling firm Civics. Comes in to talk about a new poll his team conducted for Daily Kos. He is also here to explain, as a party, how to not stress out about every time you need a poll going your way or the other way. First thing is for sure though, we are living in historic times, and what that means for these suckers cannot be easily predicted. So get out the vote. Embedded content related stories. Representative Katie Porter unleashes whiteboard on Big Pharma executive over skyrocketing drug prices. Oil executive really did try to explain tax law to Rep. Katie Porter. And it didn't go well for him. Rep. Katie Porter serves Trump's Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin his pink slip during hearing.